like to be more confident? Great. I need a little dose myself right now, as it turns out. But fellow confidence seekers, we are not alone. If you go to any bookstore, this is from Amazon.com, you can learn how to get the ultimate self-confidence, unstoppable confidence, instant confidence. And if you're a dummy, there's a book for you too, Confidence for Dummies. We see confidence everywhere in our society. The government tracks consumer confidence. I was shopping at Best Buy the other day. They wanted me to buy with confidence. At Target, they want me to shop with confidence. On my way into work, I was behind this truck. How else can you shred but with confidence? Any biologists out there, if you're working in your lab, don't you want to clone with confidence? This is real. I'm not making these up. When you go home, what do you want to do? Well, you want to carve that turkey. With confidence, that's the main thing, a little dressing on the side maybe. I'm a faculty member at Ohio State. How do they want me to retire? With confidence, of course. And then when my life is over, how am I going to go out? With confidence. So we're not alone, confidence seekers. Everyone assumes we want this. First, what is confidence? Let's differentiate it first from what it's often confused with, and that is self-esteem. We all know what self-esteem is, right? That's how much you like yourself. What do you think of yourself? Are you a good person? Are you wonderful? Confidence is how sure you are of that judgment, right? So you can say, I'm a great person, and I ask you, are you sure? And you go, no, I'm not that sure. And I can ask a person, what do you think of yourself? And they go, I'm pretty miserable, I'm not very smart. And I go, are you sure? They go, yeah, I'm totally sure. Right? So confidence and self-esteem are not the same thing at all. You can be highly confident or doubtful in both a good or bad assessment of yourself and every other opinion that you have in life. Okay, so we know the difference between those two things. Why do people care about confidence? They think it's associated with success, right? We all want to be successful, so we all want to be more confident, get that better job, get the raise. Is there a relationship? There's relatively little research on this, actually. So, but there are lots of anecdotes. So you know about this little football game that took place a few weeks ago? When our wonderful coach, Urban Meyer, was asked how the team did it, you know what he said and what all the newspapers said? They did it with confidence. That's how, just the same way we shop and carve and do everything else in life. And there's got to be some truth to that, right? If there's somebody down the field and you want to throw it, you want to throw with confidence. But does it really relate to success? Is there more than anecdotes? So my colleagues and I, along with the authors of the Confidence Code, came up with a survey to assess people's confidence, psychological battery. And then we asked them a bunch of questions about their own lives, how successful they were, what kinds of education they attained, what jobs they had, how much income they had. We've now had 150,000 people complete this survey, so there's a lot of people interested in confidence. You can go on and go to the website, fill it out yourself. But here's the relationship between confidence and income that we found across the United States. We've graphed, I don't even need to tell you what the graph is. As the line goes up, what it is, as confidence goes up, so does your income, right? The question for us is, does confidence cause us to be successful? Or maybe you're thinking the successful people became more confident because they were making so much money, right? And in any correlational study, we can't tease those apart. So what I want to tell you about is the research we've been doing in our lab here at Ohio State about manipulating confidence, making some people feel confident in the moment, some people feel doubtful, and then seeing what happens. So it's like I assigned everybody in the even rows to be confident and everybody in the odd rows to be doubtful, and then we watch and see what they do. So in the studies I'm going to tell you about in broad brush strokes, because I don't have that much time, first we're going to have everyone think either positive or negative thoughts, and I'll explain why we do that in just a second. So everyone's going to think positive or negative thoughts. In some studies it's about themselves, how good they are, how bad they are. Other studies it's about somebody else. And then we're going to manipulate confidence in a certain way. And what our theory of confidence is, it's called the self-validation theory. And what the theory basically says is confidence serves as a magnifier of our thoughts. So we all have thoughts and feelings as we go about the day, but some people trust their thoughts and use them. So some people think they're a good employee, but they don't translate it into the judgment, hey, I deserve a raise. And some people have the thought that I deserve a raise, but they don't translate it into the action of actually asking their boss for a raise. That's what we think confidence does. It magnifies the thoughts and the feelings that we have. So in the studies, we're going to manipulate how confident you are and what your thoughts are. So if you were in one of our studies, what we did, maybe you can play along with me for a moment, think some positive thoughts about yourself. Like, I'm attractive, I'm intelligent, I'm a good person. But while you're thinking those, nod your head up and down. I am attractive. Oh boy, I am attractive. Right? I am intelligent. And if you're like most people, if you're saying it while you're nodding, you are feeling this is true, right? You feel that? You can try it at home, too, people who are watching. Now try the same thing and move your head side to side. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm attractive. You're invalidating the thoughts as you're having them. So the point of this is to say, it isn't just having thoughts that's critical. It's how we feel about our thoughts. Are we confident or not in them? So that's one study that we did. Another one, you can sit up straight in your chair. Same effect. If you sit up straight or stand up straight, you start to feel confident. And you go, I am smart. Oh yeah, I am smart. I am intelligent. If you slump over and have the same thoughts, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, doesn't work. A third study, we had people sit in big, tall executive chairs or little tiny chairs, and so they felt powerful and confident and so forth. Last one, we had people write thoughts with their dominant hand. Sometimes I'm lazy. So this person wrote with their dominant hand so they would believe it. This person wrote with their non-dominant hand. You just can't believe that, can you? I mean, you thought it, but it's just like shaking your head or saying it when you slumped over. So that's the theory, is that it doesn't matter only what you think, but it matters what you think about what you think. So for the moment, look at the middle of that graph up on the screen. The middle of the graph, these are results summarized across a whole bunch of studies that we've done using a bunch of different manipulations and measures. But the results in these studies are the same. The control group is the group that just had the positive or negative thoughts, and they weren't shaking or nodding their heads. They were just having it normal. They weren't sitting erect, or they were just sitting normal. That's the normal thing that would happen. And if you think positive thoughts about yourself or someone else, what's graphed is the judgment. Your judgment will be more positive, right, than if you had negative thoughts. No big surprise. But look what happens when people had those very same positive and negative thoughts when they were nodding their heads or when they were sitting up straight. All of a sudden, they think they're a better person, or they think the other person that they were thinking about's better when they were confident nodding their heads. Or if they were thinking negative thoughts, now they think the person's much worse. So right there you can see confidence, that magnification effect. People who are shaking their heads from side to side or slumping over, that's the doubtful condition. They had the thoughts, they're not really using them. So the effect of thoughts is being attenuated. Okay, now what can we explain with our theory of confidence? You're familiar with politicians. Once in a while they do something and they get themselves into trouble. Why? Why do powerful people get into trouble, it seems, so frequently? One theory is powerful people just have more resources, and so they can buy their way into trouble, or buy drugs, the mayor of Toronto. Another is maybe powerful people, when you get to be powerful, you just have more corrupting thoughts. So power makes you think bad things. And there may be something to both of those. But in our research, what we tried to do is to hold both of those constant. So we had high and low powerful people because they're playing the role of a boss or an employee, or they're sitting in a big powerful chair or not. So their access to real resources is the same. We make them think exactly the same thoughts. And what happens? The powerful people use their thoughts. They act on their thoughts, both for good and for bad. And so I think one explanation for this happening is not always that they have more bad thoughts, but they're more willing to act on them. Another thing one can explain with this is why there's so many negative ads. In Ohio, we see tons of negative ads. And it's almost as if they want you to be against the other person rather than for your person. What our research shows is that there's something to this. And that's that when we feel like we're against something and we have to stop something, we feel more confident in our position than if we feel like we're for something. So if you say, I'm for equality, that's good. Good to be for equality. But if you're against discrimination, that's what's going to send you to the streets and to protest. So in a study, what we did is we called people on the phone during an actual election, and we just asked them a simple question, one of two questions. Who do you oppose in this election? And then you'd say who you opposed. Or, who do you favor in this election? And they'd say who they favored. So just made salient who they were for or who they were against. And then we asked them, do you intend to vote? Will you give money to your candidate? The people who thought of themselves as an opposer in the election were more likely to say they would vote, give money, so forth. Again, they're translating their position into action. Okay, let's summarize 3 big conclusions. You now know that confidence is not the same as self-esteem. Some of those books on confidence are really all about self-esteem. They're not about confidence. Very much confused. We know confidence can come from many places. If you practice a lot, of course, you'll be more confident in a skill, but it can come from standing up straight or nodding your head. So you can momentarily make yourself more confident. And finally, and this is maybe the most important thing, confidence can magnify both the good and the bad. And so earlier today we heard a talk about suicide. And so if someone has really negative thoughts about themselves, the last thing you want them to do is to become more confident, because they will be very confident in those negative thoughts about themselves. So finally, I'd like to thank my collaborators on this research, and I'd like to thank you, the audience, for your attention.